And we are joined now by Congressman Kevin McCarthy, who today, as you know, was voted to the #2 post in the House of Representatives, the majority leader position in the Republican Party. Kevin, thanks for being with us tonight, and congratulations are in order.
Thanks for having me. It's a tremendous honor, and first and foremost, I want to thank the constituents to put their trust in me, to have this ability, and first and foremost, we want to make sure we take those Kern County values and voices to the table in Washington to change Washington to work for the better.
Speaking of which, will this change anything for people in your district here in Kern County and beyond?
Well, hopefully we have a stronger voice. We'll be at the table working on water for the farmers, health care for the veterans, getting this economy moving again. This puts us in a stronger position to have those voices heard in Washington.
Yeah, I noticed in the statement released by your staff one glaring omission, which would have been immigration reform. And as soon as the vote came in, putting you in the #2 post, the UFW came out and blasted your inactivity and the party's on immigration reform. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are what's happening on the border today, we need to secure it. It's the humanity problem that's happening here. It's inhumane that these young children are coming across this border, walking through that desert and others, and it's based upon the policy and the structure that the president set. And if we can't secure our borders, how can we do anything in immigration? So first and foremost, we have to get these borders secure. I was meeting yesterday with Governor Scott Perry from Texas. Governor Perry was actually sending down National Guard troops down to the border because the federal government has refused to act in the process.
High-speed rail, you've been a long-time outspoken opponent of this. Is this another dagger for high-speed rail?
Yeah, I don't think one more dollar from federal government should go to high-speed rail. I mean, you look at what the voters voted for. We're not getting high speed nor rail. It's going to have to be subsidized. You don't have enough riders. They should not build this. And if the federal government is $17 trillion in debt, and one of my biggest goals is to curb government spending, take away that debt, and grow the economy, why should we be spending money on high-speed rail? The public doesn't even support it.
In Washington, I spoke to an ABC correspondent soon after the vote today and asked him if your ascension to the #2 spot in the party would change anything. The dynamic in Washington, there's a lot of talk about gridlock, obviously has been for years, and inaction between the two parties. Will your ascension to the majority position help that at all?
Well, that's what I want to do. I came here to change Washington. I came here in the minority, worked hard to get into the majority, and worked hard to make a real difference. So I believe Washington has to change for this country to actually grow. Too many people are living paycheck to paycheck. We've got a healthcare system that doesn't work. We've got an economy that's continued to be stagnant. I think there's a better direction and a new direction, and that's the place that I want to be a part of.
Any specifics you can offer in trying to better that system now that you're in your new position?
Well, you know, we could have a national energy policy, building the infrastructure to make us not be buying from overseas. We could have a tax reform to make sure that it's simpler, fairer, that people get to keep more, that we're able to move forward in the process. We can do better in education. We have 1 million kids in America today on a waiting list for a charter school. Why would we hold them back? We can streamline government. I want a government that's efficient, effective, and doesn't take $1 extra. Think of all the agencies we have and the regulations they put on to individuals and the duplication. If we fundamentally are able to do those few things, I think we can move this economy in a much different direction.
Let's get one last thing about Kern County. Any specifics in your new position where you might influence? Obviously, you have a lot of influence on legislation.
I think water legislation.
Go ahead.
Water legislation. I think water legislation would be very key. I think when we look at Valley Fever, what I've been moving on Valley Fever, the changes we've already made continue to grow there. Health care for veterans. This is something that I led on nationally. As a member of just starting out in Congress, watching that all the way through to change the VA system to actually give the care to the individuals that actually defended us.
And do you have to strike some kind of balance between how much emphasis you put on Kern County and now the nation as a whole, given your new position?
Now, look, every time I have to travel back to Washington, I keep in mind those in Kern County. I think of Jim Balmain from Smith's Bakeries. How does that legislation help or hurt him? A small business that grows the best maple bars and makes the best maple bars we know anywhere. The brownies aren't bad either. But He's in there baking himself. So what is the regulation that continued to hurt, or where's the ability for him to actually grow, to open more, to hire more people? Those are the minds that I think of each time, and I think that would work across the nation.
Yeah. All right, Congressman, congratulations again. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me, Todd.